Good afternoon, participants. Thank you so much for coming, and I will take you through our payment process in Kenya Pipeline. Our theme of today is enhancing transparency through supplier relationship management. Company XYZ Limited went to the registration page, did register on our e-procurement portal, received user ID and password, went online again, saw a tender, bidded, evaluated, became the lowest evaluated bidder. And what else did you receive? Letter of award. So after receiving the letter of award, you delivered your goods. You delivered your goods to our stores. Whether you deliver in Kisumu, whether you deliver in Mombasa, Nairobi, Nakuru, we will make payments. And in Kenya Pipeline, all our payments are done in head office, meaning that KPC payment system is centralized. Now, for your invoice to qualify for payment process or for your invoice to be paid by KPC, then we need to observe a few things. One of them, that you have delivered your goods to our stores. Whether you take them to Kisumu, you take them to Eldoret, are good enough for delivery. Secondly, that inspection has been done and the goods are in good order. The goods received have been accepted by the supply chain and the user section. And above all, after we have accepted the goods received, we do normally raise something called the goods receipt note. The goods receipt note is one of the valid, we can call it a document, but it's raised in the system that will enable us to proceed with the payment process. So finance will require three things. One, that a PO must exist. That a PO must exist between the XYZ Limited and KPC. Secondly, that a GRN must have been raised in the system. And thirdly, that a supplier must submit an invoice. So the accounting standards say that it should be called a three-way match. The accountants in the house believe that is called a three-way match. But alongside your invoice, the taxman says that you must have something called teams. How many people are aware about teams? Any supplier? Majority of us. Now, teams has replaced the electronic tax register. So, for us to make payments, at the moment, your invoice must have the teams ETR. And for any further information regarding the teams ETR, we always recommend that you seek clarifications from Kenya Revenue Authority. Now, XYZ has delivered goods worth 200,000 shillings, that is the net value. If you have a calculator, you have charged 16% VAT. We want to know how much will KPC pay you that you have delivered goods worth 200,000. And I believe my gross value on the invoice will be 232,000 because the 16%, if it is added to my net value, which is 200,000, becomes to a total value of 232,000. So how much will KPC pay? Now, Kenya Revenue Authority has appointed Kenya Pipeline as a withholding tax agent. What do I mean by this? That for any payment that KPC makes to a contractor or any other supplier who has supplied goods and services, we need to withhold something called weekly withholding VAT, which is 2%. The 2% that is withheld by Kenya Pipeline is normally remitted, I believe all of us, we are aware that by 20th of the following month after the payment has been made. So for XYZ Limited, the net value of 200,000, 16%, which is 32,000, my gross figure is 232,000, then the 2% will be 4,000. Did you get it correctly? The people with the calculators? So how much are you supposed to receive from KPC? Now the value will be 228,000. And the commissioner goes ahead and says that immediately the withholding agent here is Kenya Pipeline, that is supposed to file the return, or not filing as such, but remitting the funds that we have retained from all our vendors to KRA. And it goes ahead and says that whenever we remit the return, then each and every vendor that has received payment from KPC must receive a certificate. So a certificate is always available in your portal. When you log into iTax, the certificates are normally forwarded to your emails. And you log into your portal, you will be able to reprint. And if you're not able to reprint, we believe KPC has an open door policy. We will also log in and confirm, and we can be able to reprint it for you. Now, for suppliers, we believe you must file your VAT-3, and the certificate will enable you to declare the part of the VAT that was withheld by Kenya Pipeline. But there are other scenarios, not only under goods and services, that I am a contractor, and contractors' payment terms are always outlined in the contract agreement. Madam Catherine talked about the milestones. You can be doing a certain percentage. You have agreed with KPC on 3 milestones. Maybe it is 30, 40, and again maybe 40 final payment. So the calculations that will be done, remember when you are dealing with works for the contractors, that we always retain 10%, the retention fee. And again, we will retain the 3% for the works. I believe all of us are aware about the construction. Secondly, on the consultancy services, Madam Helen talked about the 2 envelope. The 2 envelope that we believe goes with the consultancy services. Then we will have to retain 5%. If it was XYZ Limited that had done the consultancy services, we will calculate the 5% on the 200,000. So failure to submit returns of your VAT portion, you know there is normally a penalty for it. Now, today we don't have our PWD suppliers, but you can pass the information to either, if you know any one of the suppliers, we can just pass the information that persons with disabilities are only exempted from the income tax and any other levies on such income on the first 150,000, but not exempted for VAT. So for the people living with disability, they only require to get the exemption from Kenya Revenue Authority, and he can deny or accept. So let's talk about something else regarding the finances. On the mitigation measures and challenges Madam Chair, even GM talked about, after you've received an LPO, you are having difficulty in delivering the goods. We have, we are encouraging the suppliers. You can approach any bank, but we have three things when you approach a bank. When you approach any bank to service the LPO, one, that we require you to have indicated to us the bank that you have opened an account with that said bank that is funding the LPO. For example, my master data in Kenya Pipeline Company Limited belongs to Equity Bank, Ken Pipe Plaza branch. But I have approached Absa Bank, Moi Avenue, to fund my LPO. So we'll require you to obtain a letter from Absa Bank, write to KPC, requesting for a letter of undertaking, and we will change the account to Absa Bank. So your account will not read Equity Bank, but it will read Absa Bank. And we will service or channel the said monies to Absa Bank for the said LPO. Payment process is the simplest in Kenya Pipeline, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you.